I'll let you know.
Are you looking forward to Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I can't wait.
How are you feeling? From the outside, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, by yourself, yeah. It's
Because you're smiling and successful. And in Brandon Sejo's case, you're on television.
I faked a smile on TV for a long time when I was struggling behind the scenes.
Well, it took overtime.
You know, as soon as I would get done reporting on the Bengals and I'd toss back to the studio, I was right back to that depressed, sad person.
I first met Brandon in Cincinnati when he was back in town visiting,
It's beautiful, like today.
reflecting on his roots.
I'm a West Sider, went to LaSalle, went to UC, and my dream was to be a sports reporter and to cover my favorite teams.
Scoring a job as a sports reporter fulfilled Brandon's childhood dream, but also helped him hide in plain sight.
When people are on television and dream achieved, dream unlocked, people see that, right? And they just think this guy doesn't have any problems.
Behind the smile, behind the sports reporting, I really didn't want to live anymore, and no one knew that. And it just got to a point where I couldn't hide it anymore.
That's when Brandon says he knew he had to reach out for help.
And so at 28, I went to my mom and I said, "Hey mom, look, you don't know this, no one knows this, but I don't want to live anymore."
And it was that moment Brandon's new life began.
I'm a sports reporter who quit my job to start a new mental health podcast.
He walked away from his dream job, quit drinking, and focused on healing.
My life changed again that moment when I just decided, like cold turkey, all right, I can't do this anymore. And I struggled for weeks, months with that addiction, like giving it up.
I was first introduced to Brandon and his story on X. He spoke about the bridges and the nights he fought suicidal ideation. Now he wants people walking across those same bridges to know they're not alone by posting signs and mental health resources.
When I was back home in Cincinnati, I just did my favorite coping mechanism, which is going on a walk. I love the Roebling Bridge, and I started to notice that there wasn't anything that could help someone like me, or something that did help me 2 years ago from maybe taking my own life. And so I thought, what if I could help put in these messages of hope or suicide prevention resources and save lives like myself when someone's standing there thinking about ending it all.
He says being alive is bigger than success, an idea he promotes on his podcast, The Mental Game.
The Mental Game is a mental health podcast where I interview athletes, musicians, celebrities.
Yeah, man, alone, man, it was hard.
To try to break the stigma and save lives, because the biggest thing with mental health is this feeling of being alone.
From his home studio in Los Angeles, Brandon uses the podcast as a platform to break through the stigma of mental health and hopes his story inspires listeners from all over the world to ask for help, saying if we connect to each other, together we can cross that bridge and have important conversations when we get to them.